Hello and welcome to the next part of the footwork tutorial. In the first part we talked a lot about an explosive start and how to get out of your starting position quickly. And in this part we want to focus on the way towards the corner and also backwards, so how you can move quickly and also efficiently on court. I will on one hand show you some general tips, what you should always keep in mind or what you should try when you go to the corners and also backwards. Then we will also focus on the different ways of transportation steps, so what possibilities you have to go there and what is good, what is not so good. And in the third part I will show you some exercises, how you can put that in your daily training and get better, improve your speed and efficiency on court. So I hope you're excited about this one, so let's get started. In the first part of the footwork tutorial, we already talked about the importance of widening the foot position, lowering the center of gravity, and that is also crucial if you want to go really fast to one corner. So what happens if I have a narrow foot position? The result, if I push now with my foot, my body weight will go up and down and up and down. And if I go to a corner with that kind of movement like this, and in the end fall into the corner, that will cost a lot of energy and also a lot of time. If you want to be fast and also energy efficient, you have to move low and try to stay on the same level. And that will also happen if you lower your center of gravity with the start and then try to stay on that level, like this. You will get a lot faster into the corner and also you will get a lot easier out of the corner. Like this, falling into the corner costs, as I said, a lot of energy and a lot of time. When you go to the sides or to the front, try always to stay low, try to stay on the same level with your center of gravity. When you go to the back, of course, sometimes you want to jump and hit the shuttle really high, play a smash, play an attacking shot, and still try to start with a low center of gravity and do the first step or the approach towards the corner with a low center of gravity, and only the last jump goes upwards. So that will help you to get a lot faster into the corner, and you can generate also more height with your jump if you really want to get up. So instead of going up, down to the corner, go down, down, up, and back to the center. So really important, start low, and then also the approach towards the corner, always on the same level to save energy and also save time. Okay, now let's have a closer look on the different transportation techniques. So how can we approach quickly towards the corners? What options do we have and what makes sense in what situation? If we have to cover a long distance, the most efficient and also fastest way are running steps. For example, if we hit a shot in the rear court and have to go all the way to the front court, then running steps are the best option. Running steps backwards are not really fast, but if you have a lot of time, you can save some energy by just doing some normal running steps instead of turning and do side steps backwards. If you have pressure and not enough time to go backwards with running steps, you always should use side steps. And the good thing about that is also, if you turn right away, you can get your right elbow and your right shoulder to the back, and then with side steps you're always in a good position to hit the shuttle. Like from this position, very easy. If you do running steps, my right shoulder, my right elbow is here, so I have to go there first, and that takes some time. So try, if you have a lot of pressure and usually you don't have so much time in the rear court, go right away back with the right foot, with the right elbow and right shoulder, for me as a right-handed person of course, and then use some chassis steps to move backwards. Very important, if you use those chassis or side steps, try never to hit your foot with the other foot. Like that will cost you a lot of stability and also speed in your running. So always try to keep the distance between the foot if you move to the corner, so you will be much faster and much more controlled when you go there. You want to avoid to use too many side steps after each other, so maximum 2, and then you should usually do a lunge or jump or whatever. So because if you do more side steps after each other, that costs a lot of energy and is not really efficient anymore. One thing you can do, if like you need a little bit more than 1 or 2 chassis steps, is like you can put in a cross behind. Cross behind means, for example, if I go to the right rear court with side steps. Now my left leg crosses behind the right leg, and I will get some extra distance to cover that corner without an extra side or extra chassis step. The last option, you usually use that on the left rear cord or the round the head rear cord, is a hop step. Hop step means when I turn, so I already said if we go to the rear cord, we want to bring our right or our dominant leg and dominant shoulder to the back, then I can use a hop on my left leg to cover some extra distance. You can also do that to the front cord, for example, also here to the left front cord. When I do this step, I can save maybe one running step or one chassis step I would normally have to do if I just turn and do this. So hop step and cross behind can be helpful to cover some extra distance, and always depending on the situation can be useful and save you some time and energy. Maybe there's one question you ask yourself now, and that is, what kind of footwork should I use now to get to the different corners? And there is no right answer that fits everybody. And it always depends on one hand on the situation. For example, it makes a huge difference if I have to start from here because I'm in an offensive situation, I don't have enough time to get to the center of the court and I have to go there. Or if I can start from the middle. You see the distance is completely different. So now maybe here I just do side steps, but from here it's much faster and much more efficient if I use running steps. It also matters a lot how tall you are. If you're a little bit into top badminton, just watch a women's singles between Pusala Sindhu from India and Nozomi Okuhara from Japan. I think they're like 25 centimeters apart from each other, and they have to use a completely different technique of running because Okuhara has to use a lot of running steps because for her the distances are much longer and she cannot cover so far with side and chassis steps. Pusala Sindhu can cover a lot with just one step, one cross behind, and she doesn't have to use so much running steps, so much hop steps. And yeah, just have a look at the World Championship final of this year and you will see the huge difference what it makes if you're a little bit taller or a little bit shorter. The big challenge for us on court is always to choose a good transportation technique that is fast and also efficient, always depending on our own circumstances, on the situation we're in. So what can you do in the training to choose the right technique in the right situation to go to the corners? The first step in my eyes is you should be able to use all four ways and also be able to use some different combinations. Therefore, you can just move without a shuttle. Maybe you can just take the lines of the court and give yourself some challenges how you want to run on these lines. For example, now I run forwards always with running steps, sidewards I use chassis steps, and backwards I use cross behind like this. For some players, especially the hop step can be a little bit challenging. So before you want to use or try that on court with situations in the match, maybe try some general motorical stuff like moving forward like this and then moving backwards like this. Then you can make it a little bit more complicated by one hop, step, hop, normal step. Same backwards, hop, step, hop, step. If you're really good at using all those four things without thinking too much about it, like if it comes really natural to you, someone just say, okay, now cross behind, and you can do it right away, then it's more likely that also in a match situation you will choose the right transportation technique in the right situation. So that it really, really matters. Try to work on the basic motorical stuff just by maybe running on the lines, running forwards and backwards with some coordination aspects in it, and keep in mind those are the four important things or the four important techniques to move on court. Last thing, another exercise. I already showed you this one in the first part of the footwork tutorial with the two tennis or lacrosse balls, and when you let one drop. I only showed you the version where you drop one, but try to also do it with two. And here you can also variate the distance between you and the one doing the exercise. So he has to adjust his transportation technique. Sometimes you go really close, then maybe he just needs one step. Then you go a little bit further away. Then you have to also throw it a little bit upwards so he has enough time. But then maybe he has to use running steps to get forward. So that is a really good way to train it, by always changing the circumstances, the situation, by going further or closer to the other one, and try to use that exercise here as well. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope it will give you some new ideas for your training, how to get a better and also a more efficient technique and footwork on court, because it's very, very important to be fast, but also save some energy when you go to the corners. Would be super cool if you like this video and also subscribe to my channel, especially if you want to hear about the new footwork tutorials that are coming out soon. And I also love to hear from you if you have further questions, so just write it down in the comments and I will get back to you. Otherwise, see you next time for the next tutorial. Bye bye.